What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Citlali's character teaser and trailer. Much like the Movika reaction I released the other day, this is very late, but I'm getting to it now, so hopefully the wait wasn't too long for those of you who want to see this. I'm personally very excited to get into this. Let's see what Citlali's teaser, first off, her colors, has in store. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and let's get into this.
Granny Citlali, I challenge you to a fight!
Okay, what? Oh my god.
You're gonna remove the graffiti?
Doesn't matter whether you pass or fail. It all gets removed. There's only so much space on this wall.
Okay, so some kid did some graffiti on a
Could you
wall.
leave mine there for now? I'll come challenge you again!
You'll just have to redo it.
But I worked really hard on that
That's
design.
cute.
I'm removing it as soon as you pass.
Thanks, Granny
Fail.
Fucking gremlin mode.
Fail.
What? That's a big
Fail.
leaf.
Granny Heatsley, didn't you see my written challenge?
Not the person she wants to be fighting. Huh. All the graffiti comes and goes, but that one stays.
It's been a while, Granny Citlali.
Oh. And then she'll turn and... yeah. Okay. I like that a
Still at
lot.
it?
No, I think my chance has long passed. But let me get rid of that for you.
Leave it.
The music is interesting.
There's space. It's fine.
I'm loving the violin. And now she's gone.
Your graffiti. It's completely faded now. That's what
Not
time
too
does.
surprising.
At least
Oh.
you
Did a
won't
new
bother
one?
me again. Someone who annoyed me. One less to worry about.
Sure.
You annoy me too sometimes. But I hope you stick around a little longer.
I imagine we will. That's great. I love that. So I will admit I was a little lost in where this was going in the initial portion here, but as soon as it was clear that time was passing and the kid appeared but older, I instantly understood what this was trying to do. And I am a big fan of it. This is honestly exactly what I would hope for from her teaser. Citlali is a person who has lived an unnaturally long life for a human. Even by this time, where this person is still just a child, she's already known as Granny Citlali. A full lifetime ago, she already is established as an important, wise, and old member of the tribe. We open with this kid challenging Citlali to a fight. Though it's unclear initially here, it seems to be that the reason for this is the idea that in some way, if the kid could defeat Citlali in a fight, that maybe she won't remove the graffiti, I guess. But at first, Citlali is just not having it. She just looks down at the kid, sighs, flicks her on the head, it's over, fail. And she looks over and prepares to remove the graffiti, at which point the kid sort of sadly asks, "You're gonna remove it?" At which point, still being very harsh, cold, presenting herself in a way to distance herself from others, Citlali states, "Doesn't matter whether you pass or fail. It all gets removed. There's only so much space on this wall. This wall is not meant for graffiti. Citlali does not want art there, and she does not believe there is enough space for it. But despite this firm statement from Citlali, the kid still is pleading, can you leave mine there for now? And stating, I'll come challenge you again. If what is needed to keep my piece of art up on the wall here is to keep challenging you until I succeed, I'll do it. I don't want you to destroy this thing I made, even if I put it somewhere I really shouldn't have. And Citlali continues to not be receptive. You'll just have to redo it. I can't make an exception. Nobody's graffiti stays. At which point the kid just has a moment of quiet, trying to figure out what they can say to let her keep it up there. And what she lands on is just a sort of saddened, but I worked really hard on that design. I don't want to see it go away. And it's here that we finally see the full design. It's just this cute little thing. And as we have this cool visual of just seeing their shadows on the wall as they look at the graffiti, Citlali sighs. And despite using the harsh, annoyed tone that she always does, she gives an admission, an allowance for this to stay for a time by saying, I'm removing it as soon as you pass. Where before, she was not at all willing to leave it up, even if she came again to fight. And despite the fact that it is obvious this kid will not be able to defeat her for at the very least a long time, if ever, we have a very sudden, and honestly in a way very subtle, because her tone does not really change, case of Citlali completely flipping in her intention. And of course, from an outside perspective, this could be chalked up to just, she does not have the energy to deal with this. This is annoying. She'll just let it slide. But given what we know about Citlali as a character and what else we see in this, I feel that though that is definitely a piece of it, there is also an aspect of slightly letting down her walls. She is someone who doesn't try to get close to people, presumably based on things like this, because she knows she will just live longer than them, they will all eventually pass her by in time. The classic immortality problem. On top of that, she is just by personality a bit antisocial. So this is, no matter how minor, a moment that she is slightly letting down her walls, letting this kid have this. As we see, this enables them to form a bond going forward. And it's here in this next series of sequences that we see essentially a montage of the following mornings that Citlali has, as we see the various ways that she wakes up, fully embodying her sort of gremlin energy, and we see as she goes from just sort of annoyed, tired, to actually being sort of excited, happy to spend time with this kid, having this little cycle that they go through. And no point of this shows that better, this growing bond and excitement for each morning that she has, than this moment where she opens her door. She isn't explicitly like having a big smile, excited, or anything like that, but we can tell that she has a certain level of enthusiasm to her when she opens the door that is immediately destroyed and is replaced with just pure annoyance and disappointment when she realizes the person here to challenge her today is not the same girl as usual, but just some random guy. Completely annoyed, she just beats him easily, and then we see the changing of the days, time passing. We have this great montage of all the other graffiti going away as the one stays forever, but begins to fade in time. And Citlali just sort of looks at it. Clearly the girl hasn't come in a long time, but she seems to sense someone approaching. As the screen goes black and we hear the voice of an elderly woman say, "It's been a while." And I absolutely love how this is framed for this transition. We have Citlali in the foreground, surprised to hear the elderly voice of the child she once knew, but even then she can recognize them still. Behind her, she imagines the child that she got to know. But then, as a disappointed look comes across her face, we pan and reveal what she looks like now. She is old. And Citlali, recognizing this, tries to strike up a little bit of a conversation, even if it is a bit half-hearted. She clearly is not happy about this turn of events. Someone she once was excited to see has gone from a child to an elderly woman who will be gone in a few years in all likelihood. And so she asks the question, still at it, as if potentially hoping that this woman will assure her that she still has life left in her, that she'll still come to visit every now and again for a new challenge, so that they can spend time together like they used to. But with a sigh, the woman says no. I think my chance has long passed. My time is almost gone. I'm not young enough for any fights or challenges. This is more so a way for her to say goodbye than anything. At the end of her life, she returns to a childhood friend, and almost in a way of fulfilling that original deal that they had while also signifying that this is the end, this is goodbye. She offers to get rid of the faded but still there art that she once did as a child. It's here where we frame, where we can see the faded graffiti but can't see Citlali's face, as she responds after a moment saying, "Leave it." They don't let us see her expression here. Her tone is steady, but it is clear that she is not happy about this scenario, about this goodbye. And it's here that she contradicts her past self, where before she had said that she can't let it stay because there's not enough room on the wall for it. She now says it's fine, it can stay, there's enough space. It is not an eyesore. It does not take up more room than it is worth. And I realistically can see two interpretations of this contradiction. And both of these potentially could simultaneously be the case. One is, in the past, she truly did believe that it was taking up too much space and it should just be gotten rid of, but over time has grown to find value in it and importance in it as a symbol of her bond with this woman, a way to remember their time together. And so in the growing importance she had for this art, it went from a waste of space that is taking up too much room to something valuable that uses the space well. Where the other interpretation is that she never truly had an issue with it being there, but rather what she had an issue with was scenarios like this. She doesn't want people to get close to her, so she doesn't let things like art stay on the walls around her house, because if people are coming around every few days to make art or hang out or challenge her, they'll eventually grow closer to her and they'll become friends. They'll form bonds like Citlali did with this girl. But Citlali potentially wants to avoid this due to the fact that she knows they will not live as long as her. They will leave her in time. And so because of that, she puts up her walls. She doesn't let people in. She doesn't want people close. She doesn't want to give people reasons to be coming back. And so in that case, what this could be seen as is before she wasn't letting her true feelings come in of wanting connection, of wanting a bond, of thinking that the art is nice. She was trying to keep people at arm's length, to keep them away, so that she doesn't form that connection. But now, after she has formed that bond and is seeing it slip through her fingers, she admits her true feelings, that it isn't taking up too much space. It is something I want to keep here. The bond that Citlali has with this girl is important to her, and this is a representation of that. And so with that, we fade into her sitting behind her door in her room, already starting to read a light novel, as we can faintly see in the distance the woman walking away after their discussion. And she just buries her head in the book, sighs, and slouches down, clearly not happy with how this has gone, but knowing that there's nothing to do about it. But we follow this page that fell out of the book, and it serves as a transition to Citlali cloaked, placing flowers at what I would presume is the grave of the woman. Who knows how long ago she passed? It could have been just recently, it could have been years ago, but nonetheless, Citlali is here in memory of that woman that she knew as a young girl she'd spend time with in the morning. She just stands there for a time before speaking to the woman, despite her already being gone. She says, "Your graffiti, it's completely faded now. That's what time does." The tone of her voice is one of melancholy, of sadness, but a familiar sadness. One that she has lived with for a long time, in all likelihood. One that she carries for more people than just her, I would imagine. She still is here to grieve someone that she cared about, no matter how small their interactions were. But years of having to deal with that have left her visible reaction to it muted, restrained. For her to keep on living any semblance of a happy life herself, she has had to step back from that grief, to learn how to accept it. But even if she is used to such a thing, does not make it easier, and does not mean that she doesn't try to avoid it when she can. And it's here that we see that, if I'm understanding correctly, though the original graffiti is gone, though the original memory, the original person has disappeared from the world, Citlali has honored it with new art, a new reflection of that bond. She tries her best to slip into her usual state of annoyance as she finishes her discussion with the long-gone woman by saying, "At the very least, you won't bother me again." But there's no annoyance or relief in her tone, just sadness. It's a statement made half-heartedly. She says it as if it's a good thing, but really what she's saying is that she's going to miss that. And it's here that she passes by the traveler, and clearly realizing that we're curious of who she was visiting the grave of, she simply says that it was someone who annoyed her, one less to worry about. And it's here that she admits that we annoy her too sometimes, which, though it in one way is her returning to her normal attitude, it also is an admission that she cares about us. We can extrapolate that what she is saying here is a comparison between us and the people she cares about. Admittance that she cares about us. But that is on a more metatextual level, as realistically, the traveler does not have the context to fully understand that. But realizing that her words might have been harsh, or potentially just in this moment, her walls are lowered further than usual, so she's willing to be more honest. She follows up that statement that we are an annoyance at times by saying that she hopes we stick around a little longer. And that's where they leave us. I really appreciate this teaser because it gives this look into why Citlali is like she is by exploring a facet of her character that wasn't really properly explored in the story. And that is personally what I believe these teasers and trailers are best used for. And just to finish out, I'd like to take a moment to look at the description of this video. It's just 2 lines. To this day, few have ever seen the graffiti created by Granny Eatsley. After all, there was nothing Citlali sought to challenge except the slow march of time. Those lines are emphasizing the importance of this moment. The only thing that Citlali cares to challenge is the march of time itself. She has nothing to prove and nothing to gain from creating art like this other than attempting as best she can to make memory withstand the test of time. The original art may be gone, but she honored it with her new art that more fully embodies what meaning it had to her. It serves as a way for her to continue to remember what this person meant to her. So even if her own memory begins to slip and details begin to fade, as long as she looks to this art that she had done in memory of the woman, it will slow that loss even just a little bit. But that's pretty much everything I have to say about the teaser. So now let's move on to the trailer. Now we are on to Citlali's trailer, The Gaze of the Stars. As per usual, I'm expecting for this to be a little more upbeat, a little more exciting, but potentially not carrying as much narrative depth for her character. Either way, I'm excited to see what this entails, so let's get straight into it. Alright. Upbeat music already. Waking up. I'm already liking the visual style of this. Ooh. Interesting. Going for the sort of like old school computer style. Huh.
You're pretty well hidden. But I'm coming to find you.
Interesting music. Real cute. Cute. Real cute already. I love her little plushes.
You suck at this.
I take it you're looking for a fight.
God.
Citlali eats Papa. Get him. Hooligans.
God. I love how casually dismissive she is. Yo.
You could take
Oh, she's just screaming while reading like romance novels.
Ow.
God, that's perfect.
My back.
Aw. Old woman Citlali, Granny Eatsley. So this is about what I expected. It's real fun, real goofy, real simple, but some of the aesthetic things in here actually sort of surprised me. So starting off, makes sense that we open with her waking up. She sleeps in constantly. It's fitting for her. The visual of her lying upon a bed of stars, filtered through this pinkish purple haze, is really cool looking. It gives this very dreamy texture to everything. But then as she walks out of her room, the entire aesthetic shifts once more to this more pop-up book type vibe, primarily in deep cool blues and warm sort of orange yellows, giving this feeling of sort of a cozy night as she just sort of looks around, having a little hop to her step, at which point it then shifts aesthetic once more, this time to something that is vaguely reminiscent of a stylized, almost old internet browser style aesthetic, with all of these like windows open of her looking around, peeking up at things. It's a really interesting aesthetic that's really cute. At which point though, it's revealed she's looking for her little plushies, at which point we have her say, "You're pretty well hidden, but I'm coming to find you." As we go into the spiral and everything bursts into pink, she starts playing whack-a-mole with the two of them, at which point we get this shot of basically her just taking cute selfies, which is sort of interesting and fun. It's just really cute. We go to her art, and then the vibe comes back down again as she's just walking with the plushes. We see that there are just some hooligan tribes folk that are painting some graffiti that is clearly making fun of Citlali, painting her as this aggressive, antagonistic person, which isn't necessarily wrong, but is still, you know, slander. But they're just sort of goofing off in the middle of the night doing this, but clearly Citlali does not like what they're up to, as she just beats the shit out of them with her plushie. They try to fight back, but it's of no use. She just lounges back on her plush as all of them realize their fate is sealed. They try to run, but they can't escape. One of them says, "I told you not to mess with Granny Eatsley," as she looms over them all, closes her book, and sweeps them all away as she calls them morons. Only for then it to be revealed that that was all just a dream. She was dreaming of going on a walk in the middle of the night only to find some hoodlums that she could put in their place. But in reality, she just fell asleep while reading some romance light novel. And it's at this point that we just see her muttering in her sleep and rolling off her bed, falling off, trying to catch herself, failing, and as we fade out, she just goes, "Ow, my back," which in one part is just she fell on her back, that's bound to hurt, but on the other side, it very much evokes to me the classic old person, "ah, my back" type vibe, which is very fitting for her given that she's called Granny Eatsley, she's technically way older than she looks, and generally speaking, she tries to act and many people treat her as this wise elder, despite her appearance. And that's just real fun. As I expected, it doesn't necessarily have the same narrative or thematic weight as what her teaser did, but that's almost always the case, and the trailers are always meant to be more fun like this anyways. It's what I come to them for. So to me, both of these were real fun. I liked them both a lot. In part, it's just because I like Citlali as a character, but in general, I think these were well done regardless. But with that, I think I've said everything I want to, so if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment on your thoughts, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye!